Rick James quotes, I don't think the white establishment will ever respect or appreciate a black man who speaks the truth. Rick James is one of the greatest musical artists ever, the most sampled artist ever, singer, songwriter, producer, arranger, musician, stylist, creative. And one of those cats that when I was growing up on his music, I always said he was like a round the way brother that cats could relate to. That he gave you that everyday brother experience, but put it in a round way. He had a certain aura about him, had a certain feel about him, and he always spoke his mind. He let it be known that he was a big black R&B artist, and he let it be known that he called out Michael Jackson and Prince, who he did respect, but he called them out how MTV was pimping them, and he spoke out about MTV's racism and the industry, etc. He didn't mention no words. Because there was a time he was the biggest act on the streets. He was bigger at one time than Michael, Prince, Lionel, Ray Parker Jr., who we won't throw up there once upon a time. And he let it be known how he felt, and he did things his way. He believed in being a free spirit. He believed in letting his music do the talking. And he wanted to have that kind of mindset. And Charlie Murphy said he was the freest black man that he ever saw. Because he had an aura about him that just didn't really he didn't cave in like so many others have done. And he spoke his mind about the industry plantation, and talked about the realness of the musicality. And so when he made this remark, he didn't mince words. And he wasn't lying. I mean, the media be lying to people. They didn't always love Dr. King. And they don't even use the full quotes of I Have a Dream. They don't use the full quotes of his body of work. They don't use the totality. They hyphenate it to sell an agenda. They don't touch Malcolm X in totality. But they had him watched. Just like the Black Panthers, they had him watched. Medgar Evers, they had him watched. They don't have true respect. They didn't have true respect for Muhammad Ali. That was after the Parkinson's, after. But it wasn't that love affair. That's the media manipulation that they they like to throw at you to make you think that they don't really do. And if they did, they wouldn't have a Black History Month. That would be every day. If you're born and bred in the country, how can you just have 1 month? That's the shortest designated. That makes no sense at all. Because they don't want to put you in the history books. They don't want to tell the truth about slavery, the plantations, the 40 acres and a mule, and what they owe and what they took. And even though they like to throw that within the context of people doing their own selves in, they don't never want to talk about the fact that they have stamped the injustices that they still do. That they use code words like woke to throw it back. They use code words. They've always used code words to counter. Because they stole everything, and that's a fact. But that's another story, another video. But where Rick James was coming from, I agree. He ain't lying. I don't think the white establishment will ever respect or appreciate a black man that tells the truth, because they want you to sugarcoat. They want you to, shuffleboard, and you got to kind of bend and fold without ever being your true self. And that's just the sad core reality. But he spoke in his music about a lot of different things, I mean, like any other artist that was successful, there was contradiction and cap on him, but I know exactly what he meant with that remark, because that is true. There is no respect. And they don't talk about how they run the game, and that if you speak the facts of how they don't acknowledge you properly. That's a fact. Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another. Share it if you like. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm all the time. Peace.